Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be converting measures. And what that means is we're going to convert 23 feet in this case into yards. And how do we do that? There are two steps to doing this. How do I turn feet into yards? But before we go into the steps, feet and yards. Feet is a smaller unit than yards, okay? And you need to know that 1 foot has 12 inches. You should know that 3 feet is equal to 1 yard, okay? So we use the conversion factor that we need to get to where we need to get, which is yards. So here's step 1. Step 1 is, choose a conversion factor. How do we do that? Well, let's see what our options are. If I want to turn feet into yards, I know that there's 3 feet in 1 yard, and I can write it as this ratio. I can also write that there's 1 yard in 3 feet, okay? So I can write them in 2 different ways. Now, which of these 2 conversion factors will I use to turn 23 feet into yards? How do I choose? Well, you know that we can cancel feet. We can cancel words as we discussed in class. And I want to cancel out feet and I want to end up with yards. So how do we cancel feet? We cancel feet by cross canceling like we do with multiplication. Let me show you. Step 2. I'm going to go to step 2, even though I have not finished step 1, just to show you what I mean. For step 2, I'm going to write 23 feet. Okay, 23 feet. And I'm going to write it over 1. And I know that I'm going to multiply it by the conversion factor that I'm going to choose. How do I choose? Well, I want to end up with yards, right? So that unit that I want to end up with, that's the unit that should be on the top of the conversion factor that I choose. So if I want to end up with yards, that means I would have to choose this conversion factor because this is the conversion factor that has the units yards at the top or in the numerator. So I use that and I multiply it times the number they gave me. So here's what that looks like. I write 1 yard over 3 feet. And watch what happens. Since I have feet in the numerator and feet in the denominator, I can cross cancel feet, and that unit is gone. The only unit left in this whole expression is yards, which is what I want to end up with. So now how do I finish this problem up? Well, I use fraction multiplication, which is numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So I would end up with 23 times 1 yard. That makes 23 yards. And in the denominator, 1 times 3, which is 3. The next thing I do is I take my calculator and I divide 23 by 3. So let's get our calculator. Here it is. 23 divided by 3, and that equals 7.67 yards. Okay? I've rounded off to the nearest hundredth. And this is your answer. And that's it. Let's do the second example that I have written here for you. 12 pounds I want to turn into ounces. So step 1 is choose a conversion factor. What are the 2 conversion factors I could use? Well, I know there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. I also know that in 1 pound there are 16 ounces. So those are the 2 possible conversion factors. Which one do I choose? Well, the one I can cancel pounds out with pounds, right? That's the one I want to choose. So, and also the one that has ounces on top, so that I'm left with ounces at the end of the problem. So which one of these two do I choose? I'm going to choose this one, because this one is going to enable me to cancel out pounds with pounds. Let's set up the problem. For step 2, what we have is we have 12 pounds, and we write it over 1. That's the number they gave us originally. I'm going to multiply it by the conversion factor that I chose, which is 16 ounces over 1 pound. And now watch what happens. I can take pounds and cancel it with pounds. And that's what I want anytime I'm converting units. I want to cancel the units and just have the units that I need. What does this equal? Well, 12 times 16 ounces. And let's use our calculator to do that. 12 times 16, 12 times 16 equals 192. So this is numerator times numerator gives you 192 ounces. And denominator times denominator gives you 1. So your final result is 192 ounces. And that's your answer. I hope these two examples help you understand how to convert units. I'm going to do one more video where I'm going to show you how to do a double conversion. I'll see you in the next video.